All right. Shalom, Israel. With the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Start at the 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. So tonight's class is the Lashawan Qadash class. It's the Hebrew class. So this is where you learn your culture. This is where you learn your heritage. All right, let me see. Make sure it's not what I wanted. So lock it, bear with me. Making sure everybody can see the screen. So a little bit. I mean the board. All right, that's the wall right there. Okay. Not too much of a glare. Okay, so tonight's class is the Lashawan Qadash class. We're going to leave off where we left off. Alright? We're going to leave off where we left off. Very, very important. Make sure you sign in and check in. Don't forget to sign in and check in. Do not forget. So from last week's class, we left off, all right, we left off on the number 40, which is Arabiah. So now, making sure everybody can see me. Don't forget to sign in and check in either, all right. All right. So where we left off from last week, is the number 40 with the letter Ma. All right, so we left off with the letter Ma. All right, which has a numeric value, the number 40. Now I broke down, all right, we can go over it again, but I pretty much broke down the essence of this in last class. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Now we will review it, all right, but we're going to go ahead and continue. So to say the number 40, all right, in Hebrew is Arabiah, all right, is Arabiah. This is your I, your Ra, your Ba, your I, then your Yum, Arabiah, which is 40. So that's your Arabiah in the Assyrian, and that's your Arabiah within your Paleo, all right? And it's pronounced as Arabiah, all right? Arabiah. So we're going to go ahead and continue from where we left off, all right? Now remember, each of our letters have a numeric value to it, all right? So Salaki, so each of our letters has a numeric value to it, all right? This is where we get our number system from. So in English, you'll see 40, but you won't see 40 in the Hebrew. We don't write the number 40 like this. We write the number 40 like this because our letters have no numeric values to it. Our letters have numbers attached to them. All right. So now let's get down to it. So this is very, very important to understand when it comes to learning the Lashawan Qadash. So when you're reading the scriptures in the Hebrew, you're not going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, you're not going to see verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, verse 5, verse 6, whatever number it may be. You're not going to see it written as if it's going to be written similar to this. You're going to see letters as the verses. And I don't want that to confuse you because the letters within the Hebrew have numeric values to it. Like this is the number 40 in Hebrew. Alright, it will be pronounced Arabiah, but it's the letter Ma. Alright, just for an example. Alright, so let's get it. Alright, so this is what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and continue from last week. Alright, like I said, continue from last week. So we're going to continue. I'm going to get the next number and the letter on the board. Alright, we'll get the next letter on the board. If you guys have any questions too, just put it into the live chat. Alright? You guys have any questions, put into the live chat. We already have a part 1 to this video too as well. Alright, we have a part 1 to this video as well. So if you want to also check out last week's class, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Alright? That'll be no sweat. Alright, I'll send it to you. Let's see. Alright. So what we have next on the board is your Chamashu. Alright, your Chamashu, which is the number 50. Alright, Chamashu, which is the number 50. Alright, Chamashu. So now, what we have on the board is the letter Na. So this is the letter Na. Right, you have the letter Na, pronounces Na, which has the numeric value, the number 50. So Na, the letter Na, has a numeric value, the number 50. Alright, so the letter Na has a numeric value, the number 50. You would say Chamashu. So to say 50 in the Lashawan Qadash, or the Hebrew language, is Chamashu. Chamashu. Alright, this is your Ha, your Ma, your Sha, your Ya, and your Ma. In the Assyrian, this is your Ha, your Ma, your Sha, your Ya, and your Ma in the Paleo. You put that together, it's Chamashu. Alright, Chamashu. Alright? Remember, don't take this lightly. This is something that we're going to need to know. And we're going to go back to it over and over and over again, because we're going to have to remember these numbers. You want to remember your 1, 2, 3s and your ABCs, right? Like your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s are very fundamental to learning the English language. Well, to learn Hebrew, You have to know your your Bas, and your Gas. You have to know your Achads, your Shanyas, and your Shalash. Like, you have to know them. Alright, you have to know Achad. You have to know Shanya. You have to know Shalash. Like, you have to know 1, 2, 3. Alright, you have to know Ba, and Ga. Right? Just like you have to know your ABC. Like, you have to know this in order to know the language. Alright? It's very fundamental. Alright? I even teach my daughter her 1, 2, 3s and her ABCs because it's something very important for her to learn. Alright? Because the English language you're gonna have to learn it. So you start with your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s. Well, this is our culture and this is our heritage. And I teach my children, my daughter and my sons, the very same thing. The the Bas, and the Gas, right? And they also know the Achad, the Shanya, and the Shalash, because it's something important. This is a part of our culture. This is what makes us Israelites. Well, this is one of the things that makes us an Israelite, that makes us a Jew. Like, this is one of the things that makes us God's chosen people. The language that we speak. Like, we even speak a different language from other people. Like, that's one way to separate yourself from other people. By the language you speak. By how you dress, what you wear, what you say, what you eat, what you don't eat, even how you speak, and what language you speak. Like, these are all particular things that separate you from other nations of people. That separates you from other countries of people. By the language that you speak. That's one key fundamental of how you can tell somebody, or from where how you can tell. So like by the language that someone speaks, you are able to tell, and you have the ability to tell where that person is from and where that person is coming from based off of the language that they speak. Like, that's how important language is to a person. Like, that's how important language is to a society of people. So don't take learning this lightly. Like, this is the fundamentals. So if you guys know it, that's good. If you guys don't, then this is a very keen opportunity to tune in, all right, and watch and break down these numbers. So the number 50 is Hamashim, all right, Hamashim. Don't forget to put your name, city, and state, all right, Hamashim. So the letter Na is equal to the number 50, which is Hamashim in the Hebrew, all right, Hamashim. All right, Hamashim. Hamashim. That's how you would say 50. All right, Hamashim is how you would say 50. Right, Hamashim is how you would say 50. Alright, let's get the next number. Okay, so what we have on the board next is the number 60, which is Shashayim. Alright, so what we have on the board, that's your letter Sa. Alright, that's your letter Sa. This is what your Sa looks like. This is how it's pronounced, Sa, which is the number 60. So the letter Sa has a numeric value of the number 60. To say the number 60 in the Hebrew is Shashayim. Alright, Shashayim. Shashayim is how you would say 60 in the Hebrew. Shashayim. Alright, Shashayim. Alright, you have Shah, your Shah, your Ya in your mind, your Assyrian. Then you have your Sa, your Shah, your Shah, your Ya in your mind, the Paleo. You put it together as Shashayim. Alright, Shashayim. Shashayim is how you would say 60. Shashayim. Like Shashah is 6, right? Well, Shashayim is 60. Alright? Alright? So Shashayim. Alright? Boy, sit down. Don't go back there. So Shashayim is the number 60 in the Hebrew. Shashayim. Shashayim. Alright, so the letter Sa has a numeric value of the number 60. Alright, so your Shah has a numeric value of the number 60, which is Shashayim. Shashayim. Alright, this is something very, very important to understand. Do not take learning the Hebrew lightly. We have to learn this. Ask as many questions as needed because we have to learn this language. Alright, we have to learn it. Remember, I always bring this up now. Right, Nehemiah contended with the Jews because one, interracial marriaging, and two, they could not speak the language of their forefathers. They could not speak the language of the Jews. So Nehemiah contended with them and pulled the hairs off their head off of the simple fact that they could not speak the language. And also because of interracial marriaging. Like interracial marriaging will cause you to lose your culture. Like that's another reason why the Lord wanted us to be separate. Like by you interracially marrying these other nations and people, you lose some of yourself. You lose who you are. You understand? That's the spirit behind that. That's why the Lord said in the law, right? Do not give your daughters into their sons and their sons into their daughters, because they will turn your hearts away from serving me. Turning your heart away from serving the Lord is losing who you are. Like you're losing who you are if you don't serve the Most High. If you're an Israelite and you no longer serve God, you just lost who you are. Like you just lost a part of you, if not all of you. Like that's how serious it is. Like this language is something that we lost because we decided to sin against the Most High and sin against the Lord. And then we've been into captivity after captivity after captivity, losing our heritage and losing our culture. Now the Lord has given us back our culture, right, in the land of our oppressor, so we can learn it. And learning the language of our forefathers, and learning the language that Abraham spoke, and Isaac spoke, and Jacob spoke, and the Israelites spoke, and that Christ spoke, and the disciples spoke. Learning this language is a part of our culture, and it's very, very important to understand. So do not take any of these classes lightly. We want to attend as much Hebrew classes as we can, as much as we want to attend every scripture breakdown class. All right, we want to make sure it's very, very important to understand it, man. So you have the letter Sa, all right, Shashayim, which is the number 60. Shashayim, all right, Shashayim, all right, Shashayim, which is the number 60. All right. So right now we're getting all the numeric values of the alphabet. All right, we want to get all the numeric values of the alphabet. Let's get it. Let's get the next number. Okay, so the next number we have on the board is Shabbat, all right, which is the number 70. So this is the letter I, all right. In the Hebrew, this is the letter I, all right. This is the letter I. This is the letter I in the Hebrew. That's what your I would look like in the Assyrian. Your I has a numeric value of the number 70. So the number I has a numeric value of the number 70. To say the number 70 in Hebrew, it's Shabayim. All right, Shabayim. Shabayim. All right, Shabayim. Shabayim. All right, Shabayim. Shabayim. Go ahead, princess.
Look, it's out.
Oh, okay.
I gotta find it. I don't know where. It's somewhere behind the couch.
Okay, no sweat, princess. We'll go ahead and look for it later, okay? Daddy's in class, all right?
Okay.
All right, go ahead and sit down for me. So Shabayim is the number 70. All right. So a good scripture in the Hebrew to go to look at all these numbers and what they look like. I might get that towards the end of class. I want to say it's 119. Hold on. Let me see. God, so Psalms chapter 119 is a very good basis of where you can see all these numbers. All right. All right. But hold on. So Shabayim. All right. Shabayim. This is your Shah, your Ba, your I, your Ya, and your Ma. This is your Shah, your Ba, your I, your Ya, your Ma, and the Syrian and the Paleo. You put together is Shabayim. All right, Shabayim. All right. So let's get the next one. Alright, so what we have on the board is the number 80. Alright, that's what we have on the board is the number 80. Alright, that's number 80 on the board. So what we have on the board is the number 80. Alright, which is Shamawanayim. Alright, Shamawanayim is how you would say 80. So what we have on the board is the letter Pi. So the letter Pi, what we have on the board is the letter Pi. Your Pi has a numeric value of the number 80. Alright, so Pi has a numeric value of the number 80. Alright. So your letter Pi has a numeric value of the number 80. Alright, so the letter Pi has a numeric value of the number 80. So when you see the letter Pi in the scriptures, alright, when it's next to a letter, next to a name, it has a, the water. Let me see if I can fix that. The water for letting me know. The water, the one. The mic's a little muffled. The water, let me see if I can fix that. Give me 1 second. See if I can fix that. See if we can fix that real quick. Let me see. Let me know if you guys can still hear me a little clearer. Let me see if I can also on Facebook. Let me see. Let me see. It's a little better now. Okay, Most High in Christ. All right, Most High in Christ. So I can remember. Okay, the water. I don't want the water for that. So now, what we have on the board is the letter Pi. All right, the letter Pi on the board has a numeric value of the number 80. All right, the number 80. So to say the number 80 in the Hebrew is Shamawanayim. All right, Shamawanayim is how you would say the number 80. All right, so now you have your Shah, your Ma, your Wa, your Na, your Ya, and your Ma in the Assyrian. And then you have your Shah, your Ma, your Wa, your Na, your Ya, and your Ma in the Paleo. You put it together as Shamawanayim. All right, now we also have a class from last week that breaks down how this is Shamawanayim. Now it's almost like a multiplier. All right, like I said, it's almost like a multiplier. It's like you're doing your times tables, right? And your yum at the end is like a multiplier. So the number 8 in the Hebrew is just Shamawana. So in Hebrew, the number 8 is like Shamawana. But that yum allows you to know that there's 8, right? There's 8. So okay, your yum is like a 10. It's letting you know that there's 8 tens. So you do 10 times 8. That would get you the number 80. Right? That's why there's a yum at the end of Shamawana would get you Shamawanayim. Alright? That's the science behind it. That's the math behind it. Shamawanayim is how you get the number 80. It's multiplication. Like in our language, like this is what makes us so great as a nation of people. Like you're wondering why we're the best engineers, the best architects, the best scientists, the best mathematicians. Because at one point in time, learning math and learning algebra was literally in our language. Like we don't have numbers like 80 like in English. Like our number 80 is the letter Pi. In math, that would be considered a variable. Like that's a variable in math, right? Alright, that's like a variable. So now if you put it together, that's Shamawana. Alright, Shamawana. Shamawanayim is the number 80. Alright, Shamawanayim is the number 80. Alright. So for anyone that may want that class too, it's from last week's class. That'd be real to wild. I'll send it to you, whatever the case may be as well. Alright. So the number 80 is Shamawanayim. Alright, Shamawanayim. Let's get it. Now, what we're getting on the board is just the numeric values that come with the letters. All right, that come with our alphabet, that comes with the letters, with our alphabet. All right, our numbers, all right, our numbers, they come, all right, they come written like that. All right, and you can also, we also spell out our numbers too. All right, in our language, we also spell our numbers out. I don't want you guys to think that it's only letters too. We also spell our numbers out too. All right. All right. All right. So what we have on the board is 90. So what we have on the board is the number 90, which is the Shayim. All right. So we have the number 90, which is the Shayim. All right. The Shayim. The Shayim. All right. The Shayim. Right, which is Tazah. All right, your Tazah is 90, which is the Shayim. All right, the Shayim. All right, so this is the letter Tazah. The letter Tazah has a numeric value of the number 90, which is the Shayim. All right, the Shayim, which is the number 90, the Shayim. All right, this is your Tha, your Sha, your Ah, your Ya, and your Ma. In the Assyrian, this is your Tha, your Sha, your Ah, your Ya, and your Ma. All right, in the Paleo, you put it together, it's the Shayim. All right, the Shayim, the Shayim. All right, the Shayim is the number 90. All right, the Shayim is the number 90. All right, the Shayim. Right, the Shayim is the number 90. All right, the Shayim is the number 90. All right, and Tazah has a numeric value of the number 90. Let's get it. All right, let's get the next one on the board. All right, let's get the next one. All right, we're going to get the next letter on the board. Alright, so what we have now on the board is 100. Alright, so what we have on the board now is 100. Okay, this is your qua. So this is your qua in the Hebrew. Alright. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist at times. Alright, I want to read you that qua. Alright, so that's your qua. So your qua on the board, your qua. So your qua has a numeric value of the number 100. Alright, so your qua has a numeric value of the number 100. Alright? Hey, Adelan, come in. Come sit down, little push up. Alright? Alright? Alright, so the number qua, the letter qua, alright, the letter qua has a numeric value of the number 100, alright, or 100. Alright, has a numeric value of the number 100, or 100. Alright, you say 100 in the Hebrew, it's ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah, salaki. Ma'ah. Alright, that's how you would say the number 100. Right, in the Hebrew, it's ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah. Ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah. Alright, so ma'ah, which is 100. Your ma and your ha. Alright, oh, salaki. That's just ma. Salaki. 1 second. Salaki. That's my fault. Salaki. That's my fault. I was not paying attention to Salaki about that. Alright. That's how you would write it. Ma'ah. Alright. So this is your ma, your ah in the in the Syrian. This is your ma, your ah in the Paleo. It's pronounced ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah. Ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah is how you would say 100. So the letter qua. So your qua. The letter qua has a numeric value of the number 100. And you say 100 as ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah. Alright, ma'ah is how you would say 100. Ma'ah. Alright, so let's get the next one. Let's get the next letter on the board. Alright, let's get it. Okay, so what we have on the board now is the letter Ra. Right, the letter Ra. So the letter Ra has a numeric value of the number 200. Alright, so your Ra has a numeric value of the number 200. Alright, the numeric value of the number 200. Alright, you put it together. Alright, to say 200 in the Hebrew has the very same concept of 20 all the way to 90, but in this time using the number 100. So Shanya Ma'ayim. Alright, Shanya Ma'ayim. Alright, Shanya Ma'ayim is how you would say 200. Shanya Ma'ayim. Alright, Shanya Ma'ayim. Shanya Ma'ayim. Alright, this now remember, Shanya is the number 2. Alright. Then you have Ma'ayim, which is literally saying 200. 200. But it's letting you know that that Shanya is letting you know that there's 200s. And of course that Yum at the end is letting you know, right, that you did 10 times 10. Alright, 10 times 10, because there's 10 tens. So you did 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 10 times. Of course, we know multiplication. 10 times 10 is equal 100. Shanya, so you know that there's 200s, 200. Alright, so you put it together, it's Shanya Ma'ayim. Alright, Shanya Ma'ayim, which is 200. Same here, Shanya Ma'ayim. Okay, Shanya Ma'ayim, 200s. Alright, Ma'ayim. Shanya Ma'ayim. So let's get the next one on the board. Let's get the next one on the board. What we have now is 300. Alright, 300. So what we have on the board now is the letter Shah. So we have the letter Shah on the board. We have the letter Shah on the board. Alright? The letter Shah. So we have the letter Shah on the board. All right. So the letter Shah has a numeric value of the number 300. So Shah, the letter Shah in the Hebrew has a numeric value of the number 300. Now in the scriptures, you're not really going to have any verses that go up to even 200. I believe the highest I've seen so far is in Psalms chapter 119. It goes all the way up to 197. All right. Yeah, I don't think we ever reached 200. All right. So you're probably never going to see this. Well, most likely not. All right. I'll do some more research on that, but I never seen the letter Shah in a verse that high before. Not even a chapter. All right, not even a chapter. So now, to say 300 is Shalash Ma'ayim. All right, so Shalash Ma'ayim is how you would say 300. So Shalash Ma'ayim is how you would say 300. All right, this is your Shah, your La, your Shah, your Ma, your Ah, your Yan, your Ma in the Assyrian. This is your Shah, your La, your Shah, your Ma, your Ah, your Yan, your Ma in the Paleo. You put that together, Shalash Ma'ayim, which is 300. Shalash Ma'ayim is 300. So the letter Shah has a numeric value of the number 300. All right, 300. All right, 300. Shalash Ma'ayim. Shalash Ma'ayim is how you would say 300. Let's get the last one, and then we're going to jump back, all the way back, and we're going to do some math. We're going to learn how to break all of this down. All right, we're going to break all of this down scientifically, mathematically. All right, we're going to break this down scientifically, mathematically after this, all right, to get some of these numbers. All right, so we have on the board now is 400. All right, so the letter Tha in the Hebrew has a numeric value of the number 400. So the letter Tha in the Hebrew has a numeric value of the number 400. You put it together, all right, you say 400 in the Hebrew is Arabai Ma'ayim. So Arabai Ma'ayim is how you would say 400. Arabai Ma'ayim. Arabai Ma'ayim is how you would say 400. All right, Arabai Ma'ayim is how you would say 400. All right. Office, let me see. All right, so Arabai. All right, Arabai Ma'ayim is 400. Arabai Ma'ayim is how you would say 400. So your thigh. All right, your thigh has a numeric value, the number 400. All right, 400, you say Arabai Ma'ayim. All right, it's pronounced Arabai Ma'ayim. So remember, now I always say this all the time, and I bring this out every time when I teach this lesson. Like, this is why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are so smart and so intelligent. Like, this is why we make the best scientists and the best mathematicians and the best physicians and the best doctors and the best engineers, because it was in our culture to understand math at a young age. Like, when you teach your children your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s in English, well, in our culture, we were teaching ABCs and 1, 2, 3s at the very same time, because the letters in our alphabet had numeric values to it. All right, they had numeric values to it. So think of this as a variable. Like, we knew algebra. We understood algebra at the age of 5. We understood algebra at 6 and 7 years old. So when algebra was on the scene, we understood it easily because we were like, oh, well, that's almost like in our language. Our letter tha has a numeric value, the number 40. So if I take that as a variable, that's just letting me know that this letter right here has a numeric value to it, just like a variable in algebra. All right. So Arabai Ma'ayim. All right. Arabai Ma'ayim. All right. Arabai Ma'ayim, which is 400. Arabai Ma'ayim, which is 400. All right. 400 is Arabai Ma'ayim. All right. All right, let's get it. All right. So those are all the letters of the alphabet. All right. So now we're going to get into a little bit of math. All right. I'm going to break down where all of this comes from and what all of this means. All right. Because what we didn't go over, all right. So what we didn't go over yet, pretty much, all right, is how we get our 11. So, okay. So what we did was we went from 1 through 10, and then we went straight to 20, then 30, 40, 50, all the way to 400. Why? Because I was just giving the numeric values of each letter, all right, of our alphabet. All right. So now, what I'm going to teach next is how to get 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm also going to teach how we get 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'm also going to teach how we get 31, 32, 33, 34. You guys get the point, right? There's a way to get that. Right? There's most definitely a way to get that. There's definitely a way to get that. So now, right, there's definitely a way to get that. So now we're gonna teach how we're gonna get 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So does anybody remember how to say the number 10? Anybody remember how to say the number 10? First things first, let's get number 10 on the board. So we're going to backtrack. We're going to backtrack a little because we're going to teach how we get 11 through 19, 21 through 29, 31 through 39, 41 through 49, 51 through 59. Like, we're going to learn how we get that. We already know how to get 1 through 10. We already know how to get 20. We already know how to get 30. We already know how to get 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, so far and so forth. Right? That's correct. Ishura. So Ishura is the number 10. All right? Now remember, we're going to get the letter 2. Alright? We're going to get the letter 2 for teaching purposes. Alright? So your ya. Alright? Your ya. Your ya has a numeric value, the number 10. Alright? Which is Ishara. Alright? Which is Ishara in the Hebrew. Alright? I'm going to write on the board. Ishara in the Hebrew. Alright? So your ya. Alright? So your ya has a numeric value, the number 10. And you say the number 10 by saying Ishara. Alright? Ishara is how you would say the number 10. So now, the next number that comes after the number 10, so the next thing that we have is the number 10 is the number 11. Alright? Warriors. Sit down, stay quiet, alright? So now you have Ishara. I'm going to rewrite the word Ishara on the board for y'all because I want that to be a little neater and more legible and understandable. Alright? Ishara. So Ishara is the number 10. So what we have next after Ishara, which is the number 11. Alright? The number 11. Alright, what we have next on the board is the number 11. What's going on with that? Oh, that's why. Alright, got that under control. So the number 11 is next. So now, this is how we get the number 11. I'm going to write down the number 1 next on the board. Alright, I'm going to write the number 1 on the board, which is this. Okay? We're going to get a Qad. The number 1 in the Hebrew is what? A Qad, right? A Qad. So I'm also going to get the numeric value. Alright, I'm going to write down A. Alright, which is a Qad. So the number 1 in the Hebrew is a Qad. A Qad. So you have Ya. Alright, so you have the letter Ya. Right, you have the letter Ya. Right, which has a numeric value, the number 10, which is Ishara in the Hebrew. Then you have the letter A, which has a numeric value, the number 1, which is pronounced a Qad, which is the number 1. Now to get the number 11, right? All you do, right? All you do is add, alright? All you do is 10 plus 1. You do 10 plus 1, you get 11. Alright? You do 10 plus 1, which gets you 11. Alright? Which would mean the number 11 is a Qad. Alright? Okay, equals a Qad Ishara. So, does everybody understand that so far? So you have your Ya, which is the number 10. Alright? Your Ya has a numeric value of the number 10. The number 10 in the Hebrew is Ishara. Then you have the letter A. Right? You have the letter A, which has a numeric value, the number 1. Alright? Alright? Which is a Qad in the Hebrew. The number 1 is a Qad in the Hebrew. So to get the number 11, all you do is 10 plus 1 equals 11. So in Hebrew, a Qad Ishara is the number 11. So when you see a and a Ya together, alright? So, when you look in the Bible, alright, in the Hebrew Bible, So when you're reading the Hebrew Bible, if I could, Salaki, get it for you guys. So when you're reading in the Hebrew Bible and you see a Yah, right, it's going to look like this. You're going to see a Yah. You're going to see a Yah and a Ah. This is what you're going to see right here. You're going to see a Yah and a Ah next to each other in the Bible. So in the Hebrew, when you're reading the Bible in Hebrew, next to a verse or next to the chapter, right, the number of the chapter or the number of the verse, you're going to see a Yah and a Ah. And you're going to wonder, what in the heck is a Yah and a Ah next to each other for? It doesn't make any sense. What is that? Well, it's letting you know that this is a number. And it's letting you know that's the number 11. Your Yah is the number 10. Alright, and then your Ah is the number 1. It's letting you know that that's the 11th verse or the 11th chapter. How do I know this? Because your 10 is Ishura, which is your Yah. Your Ah is the number 1, which is your Akkad. To say the number 11 is Akkad Ishura. It's letting you know that you're doing Akkad plus Ishura, which is 10. 1 plus 10. Alright? To not confuse you, I'll write it this way instead. Alright? I write it that way instead so there's no confusion. Alright? Akkad is 1, Ishura is 10. 1 plus 10 gets you 11. Akkad plus Ishura gets you 11. So to say the number 11 is Akkad Ishura. Alright? So within our language, there's math. Alright? There's your variables. Your Yah has a numeric value, the number 10. Your Ah has a numeric value of the number 1. Alright? So, in order to know this number, you have to know these values. So you have to plug them in. You have to plug these values in. You plug in the 10, and then you plug in the 1. And you use addition. 1 plus 10 gets you 11. Akkad plus Ishura gets you Akkad Ishura, which is 11. Alright? You do this very same concept. Alright? This is the very same concept to get the number 12. Alright? But instead of Ah, right? Instead of Ah, because Ah is 1, you get the letter Ba. Because Ba has a numeric value of the number what? Well, your Ba has a numeric value of the number 2, right? So now, so the number 2 in Hebrew is what? Shanya. Right? So now, what you would see is a Yah and a Ba next to each other. So this is the Yah, this is the Ba. You see them next to each other. You know the Yah has a numeric value, the number 10. But you also know the Ba has a numeric value, the number 2. So here we go. We plug in our numbers, right? Because they're variables, right? So we plug them in. Your Yah has a numeric value of 10. Your Ba has a numeric value of the number 2. You do 2. Now we're using addition because we're trying to get to the number 12. The goal is to get to the number 12. So this is 2 plus 10. Get you, Salaki, not 11, 12. All right, Salaki about that. So 2 plus 10 equals 12. All right, which is Shanya plus Ishura. It gets you Shanya Ishura. Shanya Ishura is how you say the number 12. All right, Shanya Ishura is how you get the number 12. All right, so Shanya is how you get the number 12. All Everybody kind of understand this concept? This is the addition portion. All right. You do the very same concept with 21, 22, 23. Is this going to be Shanya Asherayim? All right. Shanya Asherayim is 22. If you know how to say the number 30, right, is what? Shalashim. Right? The number 30 is Shalashim. If you wanted to say 32, well, you do 2 plus 30. All right. You do 2 plus 30. It's Shanya Shalashim. All right. It has the very same concept. You use addition to get it. All right. So you use addition to get it. All right. So now, I'm going to briefly go back over how to get the number 20. Right? Remember. Right? So now, if you want to get the number 20, we'll get this off on the board. Because I want everybody to understand it in detail. Just like how we did the number 20, the number 30, the number 40, the 50, 60, 70. I'm going to get everyone to understand it. Alright? Does anybody remember the number 20? What letter it's attached to? Anybody remember? What is Asherayim, the number 20? What letter is it attached to? Anybody remember that? You guys can still answer if you guys want to, but I'm going to put it on the board for time's sake so we can get into the lesson. So Asherayim is a number 20, and it's attached to the letter Ka. All right, so you have your Ka, which is right here, your Ka, which is equal 20. All right, 20 is Asherayim. All right, Asherayim. All right, Asherayim. All right. All right, so you're young. So we're going to break it down. So you're young. All right, so you're young. It's like a multiplier. All right, it's like a multiplier. All right. Letting you know that it's more than one. More than 110. All right, more than 110. All right. Or more than 110. So you're young. So at the end of Asherayim, that young at the end of Asherayim is letting you know that it's a multiplier and it's more than 110. All right. Now remember, the reason why I say there's more than 110 because your 10, right? Your 10 is always the base number. Alright? So 10, the number 10 is always your base number. So you're young by definition, right? In this case, it was your multiplier, more than 110, and 10 is always the base number. Now, why do I say that? Because this is letting you know, Asherayim, there's more than 110. So the number 10 in Hebrew is what? Asherah. So now this yom is letting you know that there's more than 110. Right? There's more than 110. So if there's more than 110, how many 10s do we need to get to 20? Anybody online or anybody in class, how many 10s do we need to get to 20? Does anybody know? How many 10s do we need to get to 20? This is what your yum is letting you know. Your Asherayim is the number 20. That yum is letting you know that it's a multiplier, there's more than 110, and your 10 is always the base number in this factor. So now, with that being said, to get to the number 20, how many 10s do you need? Well, in order to get to the number 20, you need two 10s, right? So you have a 10 right here, and then you have a 10 right here. So there's your 10s on the board. You have it, well, let me write a little lower so you guys can see it. All right, I'm going to write it sort of in the middle. So you have your 10 right here, and then you have your 10 right here. In order to get the number 20, right? So to get to the number 20, you need 2 10s to get to the number 20. So you have a 10 right here, you have a 10 right here, right? Well, of course you have, right? You have, so in order to get to number 20, right? You have 10 plus 10, all right? You have 10 plus 10, which equals 20. So 10 plus 10 equals 20, right? So now you can get, so this is the number 20. Now yum also is a multiplier, right? You have 2 10s here. Instead of doing addition, you can also do multiplication. You see there's 2 10s? Right? 10 plus 10. 10 plus 10 is equal to 10 times 2. Alright? So 10 plus 10 is equal to 10 times 2. Now, alright, does everybody understand that? 10 plus 10 is equal to 10 times 2. How? Because 10 plus 10 is 20. 10 times 2 is 20. Does everybody understand? Pretty much, this is algebra. Alright? This is algebra in the Hebrew. Alright, I wanted to explain that more clearly to everyone. This is how you get Asherayim. This is the same way how you get Shalashim. Right? It's the same way you get Shalashim. It's the same way you get Arabayim. It's the same way you get Chamashim. It's the same way you get Shashayim. It's the same way you get Shabayim. It's the same way you get Shemawanayim. It's the same way you get the Shayim. It's the same way you also get Ma'ayim. Alright? It's the very same way. Now Ma'ayim is the number 100. Alright? Ma'ah. Alright? Salakia Ma'ah, not Ma'ayim. Salakia. Ma'ah is how you would get the number 100. Alright? But it's the same concept. Very same concept. So now, alright? So now, I'm going to get it for you. I'm going to give you guys one more example. I'm going to give you guys one more example on the board to pretty much clear things up and to get everyone really understanding. I'm going to do 30 next. Alright, I'm going to do 30 next. So all I'm going to do is the same concept. Alright. I see. Oh, the jacket is on Most High Christ. The water, Lashawan, appreciate it. The water. So now, we got number 30 on the board. So now, this will make it make more sense. You have Shalashim on the board. Now remember, the number 30, your La, is equal to the number 30. Alright, your La is equal to the number 30. You have Shalashim. Alright, now remember, the Yum, that Yum right here, is letting you know that it's a multiplier. More than 110, 10 is always the base number. Alright, so it's the very same concept. So now, to make you really understand, you see the root word right here. The root word is shalash. Right? The root word is shalash. What is shalash in the Hebrew? Anybody remember what shalash is in the Hebrew? Alright? Your yum is your multiplier, letting you know that there's more than 110, and 10 is always, right, the base number. So now shalashim, right? Your la is shalashim, which is 30. Now your shalash is the root word, right? Now your shalash is the root word. What does shalash mean? Well, shalash in the Hebrew is the number 3. So now the number 3 is next to the yum. It's letting you know that there's a multiplier. So now it's letting you know that there's more than one 10. How many 10s? There's 3 10s, right? So you have 3 10s. You have a 10 here, you have a 10 here, then you have a 10 here. Alright, so now you have 3 10s. Well, those 3 10s, if you add them together, it gets you 30. Right? So shalashim, right? That yum is letting you know that there's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 10s. If you add them together, right? If you add the 3 10s together, you get the number 30. Well, yum is also a multiplier. Well, how is yum also a multiplier? Well, guess what's also equal to 30? 10 times 3. Why do I say that? Because remember, 10 is always the base number. 10 is always the base number. So you do 10 times 3. You do 10 times 3. Where do I get the 3 from? Well, the 3 is from the 3 10s. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 is equal to 10 times 3. Well, how can we prove it? That equals 30. Well, that also equals 30. And that's how you get shalashim. Alright? Alright, so that's how you get shalashim. Alright, this is how we taught our children math. So you're wondering why we were the best engineers, we were the best physicians, we were your best scientists. You're wondering why we were able to get the America to the moon. You're wondering why we were able to build the traffic light and build the first computer and build the first cell phone and build the first engine and build the first refrigerator and have so many inventions under our belt. And like I said, we were the top tier engineers, scientists, physicians, doctors. Well, here's why. Within our culture, within our own language, we taught our children math at a young age. Like remember, this is part of your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. You would have thought that we came from a different planet. You're wondering like, this kid is only 6 and 7 years old and he already knows the concept of algebra. Why? Because in our language and in our culture, in order to teach our language to our children, we have to teach them this, or it's not going to make sense. What is it going to tell them? Well, La 30. Yeah, we could do that, but we also have to break down in detail why is La, why is the La to 30? How do we get shalashim? Like, how do we get shalashim? How does that make sense? I don't understand. Well, you're going to have to explain that to your children when you teach them the ah, the ba, the ga, the da, all the way down. Because remember, this is La. They're going to ask you, well, wait a minute. If Ya is 10, right, then Ka is 20, and La is 30. We just skipped a whole bunch of numbers. You're going to have to explain that to them too. Well, you're going to have to explain them this as well. So if you're wondering why the Israelites were so smart, and we were able to build the pyramids, and why the people of the other nations were so afraid of us, because we weren't just warriors because the Lord was a man of war, and also because the Lord was on our side as well, but because the Lord gave us so much knowledge within our language alone. Like he gave us the laws, statutes, and the commandments, and he gave us a language that teaches you algebra and that teaches you math. So you're wondering why the nations were so impressed and so afraid of us, and they were so scared of us? Well, here you go. It was almost like, what's not perfect about these people? What can't these people do? You understand? At this point, they're like, what else can these people do? Well, guess what? When Christ came on the scene, He showed everyone that he can walk on water and live and raise people from the dead. And so now these people are like, oh my God, these are truly God's chosen people, and the Lord loves them. Well, here you go. All right, here you go. This is the Lashawan Qadash. This is our language. This is the Hebrew language. It's very, very important to learn the Hebrew language and to learn the Lashawan Qadash right here. All right. So make sure you tell your friends and your family the Lashawan Qadash can teach your children math. All right. The Isupk teaches math. Okay. So, Lakia, if I could, we teach math. It's part of our language. It's basic math, but it's math. All right. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Alright. Does anybody have any questions? So this is pretty much the part 2 of class that I really wanted to teach and kind of go into detail that this is the essence of our numbers, our letters having numeric values to it. Alright? This is the concept of it. Alright? And through this is how you can, just by teaching our children their A, their Ba, and their Ga, and their Akkad, and Shanya, and Shalash, by teaching them their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, Hebrew style, you're introducing our children into a new league of excellence by doing this. Alright, it's very, very important to teach our children this. So now when they go to school with the other, so now now in America our schools are integrated. Alright? And in our school system, especially in a all black area, our school system is failing. Well, guess what? We can actually make a change in that just by simply following and serving the Lord. That's the spirit behind all this. Look at this. This is our language. This is our culture. By teaching our children this, do you know how many test scores could go up? By teaching our children this by the age of 4 and 5 years old? By teaching our children this by 4 and 5 years old, which is not hard to understand. You understand? All they're going to do is reciprocate what you tell them and commit it to memory. And this is very basic. Do you know how many test scores would go up? I don't know if you guys know this, all right? But math is used, okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but math is actually used. The reason why you have math from first grade all the way to your senior year in high school, because math allows you to think critically. Math always gets you thinking. It allows you to think. It helps you think. Math helps you keep on your toes. That's why there's math. Always, right, from first grade to senior year, you always have some form of math. Because math makes your brain think. Math makes you critical thinkers, right? Because that's why when you're in math class, you have problem solve. You have a problem that you have to solve. Well, that's because math always gets you thinking. Well, if math gets you thinking, and then it'll help your brain think in other areas too. So English won't be so hard. So the Hebrew won't be so hard. Learning Spanish won't be so hard. Learning history won't be so hard. Because while you're doing math, it's teaching your brain to constantly think. Alright, you can look up this concept. A lot of engineers know this concept. A lot of teachers know this concept. When I was in school, one of my teachers taught me this concept. She was my calculus teacher. All right, I think I took calc maybe my sophomore, junior year in high school, whatever the case may be. just because I already passed trigonometry, I guess. And she was like a college professor as well. And she taught, and she was an Edomite lady. And she said the purpose of math is always to keep you thinking. And ever since then, I always, I enjoyed math. And so maybe that could be a reason why I love the Hebrew so much. Because there's math in the Hebrew, I don't know. It's also because it's part of my culture too as well. But to get you that concept as well, a lot of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have a lot of problems in our community. And we like to speak about how the school system is failing. Well, we can change that by serving the Lord. I'm proving to all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, come into the Isupk, and we truly have the solution to black problems. We can change test scores. Just as much we can stop high blood pressure, just like we can stop chlamydia and syphilis and HIV and AIDS and pedophilia and sex trafficking in the community. We can also fix the other problems too in the black community, like test scores and our school system. Just come into the Lord's army and come under the one body of Christ, under commanding General Yohana in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, and let us show you and prove to you that we have the solutions to black problems. We have that solution. Alright? Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahushua, that we have the solution to fix black problems. Is by coming back to the Lord and serving Him and keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments, and coming back to our culture. Our language is a part of our culture. Our language is part of our heritage. That's what also distinguishes us from other people. The language that you speak separates you from other people. Just by the language you speak lets other people know who you are. I'm not making it up. That would be something crazy. That would be really something crazy if I could make something like that up. That's crazy, Yeah, I made all this up, right? That would be crazy. I don't know. I guess I would be whatever. So this is in the Bible. All right. So with that being said, I might you, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amayu, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barakatah, Yadim Matah, Saul Agwafin, which means turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amayu, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al-Athan Ba'ashim Yahushua. Yadim Matah. With that, class dismissed.